Hello and welcome back to Premier League Primetime, the North London Derby at the weekend. Arsenal are hosting Tottenham, and who better to have on than, of course, Mr. Andre?
Yeah.
Mr. Tottenham, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, Davis. I'm doing good. Enjoying life.
That's wonderful. And, of course, we're joined by Mr. Arsenal, Mr. Sci Guy, Mr. Cyrus. How are you doing?
I'm doing quite eloquently, David.
I absolutely loved the terminology there, Cyrus. And you want to know what else I loved? Everyone responded when I said what's going on, how everyone's doing. So hey, that's absolutely awesome. Well, let's get right into it. Here we go. North London Derby, as I said, at the weekend. Tottenham going to the Emirates and playing Arsenal. Question for the both of you, and Andre, I'll start with you. Are you feeling confident going into the game this weekend? Just like a quick yes or no?
No.
Okay. Serious, what are you? Are you feeling confident going into the North London Derby this weekend? Just a quick yes or no?
100% yes.
Awesome. Serious, sticking with you. Looking at the past two results, 1-0 win against Norwich, Arsenal scoring their first goal of the season through Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. So well done for finally scoring a goal this Premier League season. And another 1-0 win against Burnley. Martin Odegaard with a gorgeous looking free kick. Looking at these past two games, what has gone well in your opinion? Looking at these two results, what's gone well for Arsenal? Serious, could you say that again? I think you froze out there. You cut out. I think you cut out. Oh, that's unfortunate. Well,
I think he was saying something about Arsenal being a mid-table team and him being okay with that. You just want to ask me questions? Can we get this shit together?
Yeah.
Let's do that. Oh, you left.
Yeah.
All right, here, ask me questions.
Yeah, no worries. Andre, I'll start with you. On the negative side of things, 3-0 L against Palace, conceding 2 up, and he's back.
That's rude.
That's wonderful. Serious, don't worry. I've shifted to Andre just for the time being. 3-0 L against Crystal Palace, conceding 3 goals, and Tanganga getting sent off, and another L, conceding another 3 goals versus Chelsea. What has gone wrong in these past 2 games for you, Andre?
I guess I'll start with Palace. First of all, I wasn't too concerned about Palace, given that it was just everything kind of went wrong after the international break. We were missing a lot of our players. Obviously, our players literally were deported from Brazil. The biggest game in international football stopped to deport 2 of our players. It was insane. Then we just had an injury crisis. Obviously, Son was out, among others. So I wasn't too concerned. It was a heavily rotated squad. It was literally, we ended the game with our 4th and 5th choice center backs. It was like they dominated the second half for sure. They played a respective Palace.
Romero and
it's fine.
It was Romero and Dyer?
No, it was Joe Rodon and Ben Davies.
No, against Chelsea.
No, I said Palace.
Oh.
You said Palace.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah. Chelsea match. I mean, we played a good first half, and then people were kind of, pardon my language, but sucking Chelsea's dick for their performance, even though they didn't really dominate. They scored off 2 set pieces and a mad deflection. Okay. They're really 2 goals.
Masterclass, Andre?
No, Thomas. Look, okay, maybe. I mean, they did. Honestly, no, because he was totally outclassed by Nuno in the out tactic by Nuno in the first half. Second half, they're the most defensive team in the league. I don't know why no one talks about it. They don't concede and they just score stupid goals like that. So the idea that they tore open our defense, like people are saying, is so stupid. They didn't. None of their attackers scored. It was literally 2 center backs and defensive mid that scored. So Chelsea, they're a better team right now. They have better players, but they did not outplay us. Okay. I felt more outplayed by Palace than I did Chelsea.
Okay, bold statement there from Andre. I cannot say if I agree or not, but we'll take it. Well, regardless of what you think, conceding 6 goals in 2 games just isn't very good at all.
But the past 3 games, we conceded 0 goals. So there's positives.
Okay, great, wonderful. Well, looking into the North London derby, what needs to improve? Because Tottenham can't concede another 3 goals against Arsenal. Come on, like they've conceded 6 goals in the past 2 games. What needs to be improved?
Well, we're definitely not. I mean, we prevented Chelsea's attackers from scoring, and I think Palace has a better front 3 than Arsenal. So I'm really not worried about conceding 3 goals. I still think really I think just the team needs to be more settled. I think I know no one watched except for me, but our match against Wolves had a lineup that was a lot more settled against Chelsea too. But yeah, really, it's just getting the right mix of players, and which we haven't had for the last couple of games. But yeah, it'll just be matching up to Arsenal, I think.
Yeah, fair enough. And next question: what is going on with Harry Kane? And I know a lot of pundits have been slagging him off and have been saying he's not committed. For me, I've always said this: Harry Kane for me is one of the most just professional players in the world. For me, he's the kind of player that I think will just, despite him very clearly throwing his toys out of the pram this summer, refusing in coming to preseason training on time, was dropped against City, was not included in the first game of that Europa Conference League tie against Paco de Ferreira, came off the bench in the second game against Wolves. And at the moment, he just doesn't seem like his usual self. I mean, regardless of what anyone wants to say about Harry Kane, he looks anything but like his usual self. What is wrong with Harry Kane?
I mean, look, I think people are saying that watching the Premier League, saying he hasn't scored a goal in the Premier League yet, but I think he has 2 goals in other competitions for us. No, he has 3 goals so far in other competitions for us, and he's only had 3 starts into the Prem, just because we weren't playing him at first because of the whole didn't come back to training on time, that whole fiasco. So really, it's just, if you think about it that way, there's just 3 starts that he's gone without scoring. Then really we can only insult him just because he's set the standard so high for himself that we're expecting him to score all the time. But the truth is, it's not bad at all. I think he still has an assist in those 3 matches. So it's just a normal spell for Kane. People are just kind of just going to say this just because they're just going to say stupid things about his motivations, but I don't think any of it's true. He's gone through a dry spell of 3 games without scoring before. Every striker has. It's being completely blown out of proportion by people like Paul Merson and Roy Keane and people like that.
All right. Well, next, going into Nuno, and serious questions have to be asked of Nuno Espirito Santo over these past 2 games, looking at some of his tactics and some of the players and personnel that he's used and dropped. This might sound a little crazy, but what are your thoughts on Nuno? Are you Nuno in or Nuno out?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I have no respect for anyone that says Nuno out at this stage.
I'm not saying.
Yeah. No, I know. No, yeah. It is. So a lot of fans are saying it though. So it's no, I'm definitely Nuno in. It's very early days. I think every coach is going to want. It takes time to build a team that is, I would say, he needs to build the Nuno team. It takes time for coaches to build the team that they want. It shouldn't be Tottenham Hotspur coached by Nuno Espirito Santo. It needs to be Nuno's Tottenham Hotspur. So it's going to take time for him to adjust. I think the first 3 wins did feel defensive. I will say that. Obviously, you can look at the possession stats.
They papered over the cracks for me significantly.
Which one?
The opening 3 wins of the season for Tottenham. I think that papered over a lot of cracks, in my opinion.
Yeah. The results were positive and the football was debatable. But if he's just settled, he hasn't really had a preseason. So you think he's probably just going to prioritize getting the result, and the football that he wants to play will come over time. I think the defensive football claims are are dumb, because I think there have been spells where there's been some good possession play. We went pretty attacking it against Chelsea.
But then in the second half, they just sat behind.
Second half was pathetic. Second half, it was like
They sat
we
behind.
didn't carry on at all. It was
like Jose Mourinho football all over again. I mean,
yeah.
From a neutral point of view, I mean, questions have to be asked. And into the next question about the tactics. I mean, I mean, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, looking at times, Dele Alli on the wing, as we said, the negative football is lack of willingness to make subs at all or making them way too late. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I don't think Dele Alli on the wing was a result of negative football, but rather a lack of options. I think the game where he was, I think Steven Bergwijn and Heung-min Son were out, so really our only option, it was just Dele or Brian Hill. It would have been a rush a 20-year-old into the team like that. We did eventually in the game, but
why not change the system, change the lineup? Like,
I mean, he's still an attacking player. It's not that crazy. It's not why you're going to change the whole team to a custom one position, or just you can play Dele Alli in a position that he's played before. It's a lot more fluid than it looks on paper. I'm not really concerned. I mean, he even played Harry Kane on the wing against Chelsea and had Son up top. It's just, I think he wants an idea of attacking players that can play anywhere. Tottenham's always kind of been that way, and Nuno's definitely that way.
Fair enough. And of course, the last question on this Nuno, what does he need to improve? Because, he's definitely not been perfect at all.
No, he's not. And it almost seemed perfect at first, but then that honeymoon over, kind of the realities came in. I think it's hard to blame him because so much has gone wrong, like for him after this last international break. Like things were going like so well, and then national break, just so much stuff happens that he's had it tough. I think he already looks super stressed out in press conferences. What I tell you, Nuno, is that this is Tottenham Hotspur. Everything goes wrong all the time. So you just need to be ready to adjust. He needs to be ready to adjust. He's going to need a plan B, a plan, and a plan C, like all the time. That's where Nuno maybe needs to improve, because sometimes it feels so last minute. I think against Palace, it felt like so last minute. It didn't feel well thought out. Nuno, you just need to be ready with different plans all the time, because Tottenham Hotspur is a stupid, crazy club.
All right. And the last question before moving to Cyrus, what is your starting 11? If you're Nuno Espirito Santo, what formation, what 11, with the players that you have that are fit, what 11 are you sending out at the Emirates on Sunday?
Well, I think his starting 11, I'll start with his starting 11. I'd really only make a couple changes. I think obviously Lloris in goal, he's not going to mix it up there. I think Emerson will get the start, given that Tanganga was started again in the midweek. Then our center backs will probably be, I think, Romero and Davinson Sanchez.
What about a cheeky Dyer and Sanchez? Because I know you love that cheeky Dyer and Sanchez combo.
You insult way more than I do. I don't think it's that horrible, David. But
I think that them off all last season. You were slagging that combo off all last season.
Was I? I don't remember. Well, yes, I think they've been okay this season. Players seem to defend. Why do defenders just seem to play worse when they're under Mourinho? It's annoying. No, I think I've been pretty happy with all of our center backs except when Ben Davies plays there. I think our center backs would be the South Americans, Davinson and Romero, with Reguilon at left back. I think we'll probably go a midfield of Oliver Skip, Tanguy and Ndombele, and I go. I guess Højbjerg, but it's going to be, that's where the question is if he goes two holdings or one. It could be Dele Alli in there. And then I'll go Højbjerg, Skip, and Ndombele, and then our front three will probably be Son, Kane, Dele. In terms of changes I would make is I'm pretty happy with it. I think maybe I'd consider I think maybe Dele Alli, Lo Celso is a question that maybe if you want to swap them out and then put Dele on later in the game, and then same thing with Emerson Tanganga.
Yeah,
and start out defensively with Tanganga.
Taking that three that you have Son, Kane, and Dele Alli, would you play it as a front three with two wingers and Harry Kane up front, or would you revert Dele to a 10 and have two strikers up front with Son and Kane? What would you do?
It's an interesting one. I'd probably I'd kind of play it like a typical front three, but you'd have Dele Alli maybe tuck in a bit, so he's kind of playing a little more central, and then you have Emerson come up, and then that'll create kind of a fluid front four.
All right. Well, there is from Andre and Cyrus. I will shift to you. Shifting on to a more positive outlook, especially for Arsenal this season, winning against 1-0 against Norwich, and as I said, big up to Arsenal for scoring the first goal, of the season through Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and winning 1-0 against Burnley through a beautiful Martin Odegaard free kick. What has gone well in these past two games for Arsenal?
Well, first of all, I'm not trying to. You can hear me now, right?
Yes, yeah, I can hear you so much better.
I'm not trying to be Andre and be biased, so I'm gonna say this, but we've been playing not great opposition, like Burnley, Norwich, Wimbledon,
That's very true.
But saying that aside, the duo of Gabriel and Ben White has proven to be very good so far, and I think that's what we were missing in the previous games. And I think, not saying we'd beat Man City at all, but I don't think it would have been 5-0. I think it would have been a respectable score. We still probably would have lost, to be honest, because we can't score. But that duo, especially with our new right back signing, Tomiyasu,
he's been
very good, very solid. So I'm happy with that.
Definitely. And looking at just this brief resurgence of Arsenal, what can be taken from these two games and brought into the North London Derby? If there's just aspects from these past two games, looking at the game against Norwich, looking at the game against Burnley, just
I just guess being solid defensively. I think that one of our main issues right now is scoring. We've seen that we've only scored once against Norwich, once against Burnley. It's just not good enough. If we want to do something, if we want to beat a team like Tottenham, mid-table side, we have to do something better. We just honestly, what I've been saying is, we get Aubameyang going, then our season keeps going, because we saw what happened 2 years ago when Aubameyang got going. We won the FA Cup. I know he's getting older, but I still think he has a little bit of class left, to be honest.
Definitely, I agree with that 100%. I know Andre slags Aubameyang off all the time, but I think Aubameyang still has something left in him. I don't like the Aubameyang Harry Kane comparisons, where I have to side with Tottenham fans on that one. I just don't agree, but I don't agree with people calling Aubameyang rubbish, in my opinion. I think Aubameyang definitely still has more to give for this Arsenal side, and he's so important, especially in the locker room, on the training ground, for the youngsters, for the young attackers looking up to. I mean, he is the club captain. He is the face of the club, and for the youngsters coming through, and just everyone in general. I mean, one could say Kieran Tierney's the leader, but Aubameyang is the captain. He is Arteta's guy, the main guy. And I see Andre is just disagreeing, but he is Arteta's captain. Arteta named him captain of Arsenal Football Club, and he's the face of the club. But anyways, enough about Aubameyang, and shifting to Pep Jr. I love that nickname so much. I honestly do. What does Mikel Arteta need to do from a tactics standpoint in order to secure 3 points?
Number one, he has a big decision to make in goal. Well, there he goes with Leno.
That was my very next question. And are you thinking Ramsdale, or are you thinking Leno? Because I heard reports that he was resting Leno for 2 games and promised him the game against Tottenham.
So Arteta came out because he heard about these reports. He came out and said he has not made a decision about that a couple of days ago when the reports started coming out. I would start Ramsdale. That's my opinion. I feel like he's been very good, clean sheets. I feel like, I don't know, he hasn't been good enough to start the season. He really hasn't. And I think that's kind of been Leno overall. Decent, but not good enough. I think we should have definitely kept Martinez. That was one of our biggest mistakes ever. Martinez is a class goalie. So terms of tactics, he has to get the front three going. It's like compared to like previous years, it's so dead. All we do, get to Tierney, he crosses it, nothing happens. That's what's literally, if you watch the game against Brentford, that was all that was happening, and it was disgusting. We have to find a way to build through the middle, build through our two. Depends what he's going to do. If he's going to do two CDMs with Partey and Lokanga, or if he's going to just play Partey and then Odegaard and Smith Rowe. We have to see.
What about Xhaka? Your favorite Xhaka?
Next question.
Next question. Would you prefer Arteta play a cheeky factory of Kolasinac, Rob Balding, and Callum Chambers? What would you think about that?
I'd rather kill myself than watch that. If one of our center backs gets injured, honestly, like, I'm okay with Mari, but if both Ben White and Gabriel are out, then I'm not watching the game.
And lastly, before we shift into the combined 11, what would your starting 11 be for the game? What 11 players, looking at the players that are fit and available for you and whatnot, what 11 players are you sending out to face Tottenham at the Emirates on Sunday?
Okay, so this is a tough one. I've been debating. I know the back line: Ramsdale, Tomiyasu, Ben White, Gabriel Tierney, Partey. See, this is where it gets difficult. Do you play Lokanga, or
Xhaka?
do you be quiet? Do you play Lokanga, or do you take out Pepe? See, you know what? I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna go with Partey, Lokanga.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna go with Saka left wing or Saka right wing. Play Emil left, Odegaard attacking, a bombing striker, and then you could rotate. You could bring Emil in the middle, see what happens if things aren't going well. But honestly, I think that's what we might have to do. Some people would disagree, say start Pepe instead of Lokanga. That's too defensive. In my opinion, that's what I would go with.
Honestly, I would arguably go with the same. Maybe even throw in Lacazette, possibly.
Yeah, Lacazette is known for scoring against Tottenham, but I think we could bring him off the bench early and see what happens there.
Maybe throw Aubameyang onto the left-hand side, put Emil Smith Rowe in the number 10, and then Saka on the right, and Lacazette up front. But, I mean, just their attacking options also now just have more options to work with. In midfield, they have a little bit more to work with now.
Yeah.
And last question, I've only heard his name relatively recently. But there's this young kid. I think his name's like Charlie Patino or something like that. I've heard a lot of praise from Arteta on him. He was supposed to play against Wimbledon in the Carabao Cup, but let's not talk about a cup that my team's not in. Thoughts on this kid? I've just heard his name a lot, and I wanted to hear what your thoughts are on him.
Yeah, so his name's Charlie Patino. So Arteta said that he was gonna be involved in the game against Wimbledon, but he decided not to. But he said that he is gonna be featured. He is gonna start playing, and I'm really excited to see him play. I feel like credit to Emery. He did bring in the likes of Saka and Emil Smith Rowe to the stage, and I feel like maybe Arteta hasn't necessarily done that yet. I think we have a lot of talent in the academy and people like him. So not like Nketiah, even though he did have a good goal yesterday. So I'm excited to see him play.
Call me for Nketiah.
Yeah.
I don't know where Andre is, but I think Andre has pulled a Harry Kane and he's just disappeared off screen. But
and then it appeared out of nowhere.
I'd like to say Andre's opinions over his two center backs changed more than Pogba's hairstyle, because I swear last season he was calling Sanchez shit.
I know. And Andre's gonna say, "Oh, Davis is against these players against Tottenham." I heard
it's all relative. It's all relative to form, and he's doing
I'd also
well.
like to point out that Dele Alli hasn't been good since 2016, and his new hair is shite.
I only agree with one of those because I love his hair. I think his hair is the fucking coolest. I want to get it.
Into the last part of our show, and of course, it wouldn't be a game preview without a combined 11. Starting off.
Before we start, I do want to say something.
What?
I feel like when we've done combined 11s, I sometimes grow frustrated when I don't get my way. However, I must say, Cyrus, I looked at this Arsenal starting 11 against Burnley, and I truly do think that that starting 11 is incredibly solid. I think it's maybe the best starting 11 that Arsenal have had in a while, like maybe past 3 seasons. I think that it has a beautiful balance of creativity. The defensive line looks solid. I just have respect for it, so I'm gonna be pretty open-minded when it comes to this combined 11 for once, because I know I grew frustrated last time when we
Andre,
sounds good.
Regardless of how it's genuine or not, that was beautiful, Andre. I it's hard to see, but tears are welting in my eyes. Like that was just so beautiful.
Same series.
Just I think Cyrus has gone off camera to I don't know, maybe have a something.
I cream my pants, Andre.
That brings me happy.
Okay.
Send pictures.
Okay. Into the goalkeeping situation. It's definitely got to be Leno, because Leno's just been the best between the two. No, you could throw in Leno, or I'm not saying we're throwing him in, but in terms of who'd be the face off. So definitely Lloris, you have Ramsdale, and you have Leno.
We're going with Lloris.
Yeah, I would say let's go Lloris.
Fair enough. Yeah, Lloris has had a very good season. So Lloris in goal. I guess for the sake of balance, are we going to do a 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1?
It's Andre's choice.
To you, Andre.
I mean, they're so similar. We'll call it 4-3-3 right now, but it can always change. They're very similar.
You sure? Not a 4-2-3-1? Because I think a 4-2-3-1 would suit you guys better, because in terms of number 10s, both of you guys basically play with a number 10.
All right, sure. All right, we'll go 4-2-3-1.
Okay, fair enough. 4-2-3-1. Starting at right back, Tanganga, you have Tomiyasu, you have Cedric, you have Emerson, Real. If Hector Bellerin was still at the club, it would definitely be Hector Bellerin.
We're definitely not putting Cedric. I think I'm good with. I feel like Tanganga already got a red card, so even though he's playing center, I'm good with Tomiyasu there too.
Yeah, Cyrus, are you agreeing with Tomiyasu at right back?
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Lovely. So Lloris in goal, Tomiyasu right back. Center backs, and for me, I don't even know if Tottenham get a player in, to be honest with you, looking at the new duo of Ben White and Gabriel. For me, it's hard.
Yeah. No, I think they've both been very good. I think that partnership alone is going to be monumental. But I think how many Prem matches have they played? 1 or 2?
2 together.
They played 2.
Okay. And they kept clean sheets on both, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll say it's early days for Romero, I guess. So it's fine. We can put this.
All right.
Yeah, I think Romero would go in the team if he had more playing time, but he hasn't. So
yeah, fair enough. And Darren Sanchez, they've been okay, but Ben and Gabriel for me have been very good since they've been together. So yeah, those two go straight in, and then left back, he once again Reguilon against Kieran Tierney, who Andre says I suck up all the time, but I actually don't. I just rate Kieran Tierney, but and both have had all right starts to the season, to be honest with you. For me, both of them have been roughly the same, but
yeah,
I'll let both of you. It's not my combined eliminated series, so Reguilon or Tierney, you two decide.
I think Tierney's better.
Okay. I will go with.
If we go in a whole back line of Arsenal, then I might fight for 2 midfielders. We'll see. We'll proceed.
So who are you saying at left back?
This is the one when I was thinking about it that I'm so 50-50 on. Out of anyone. So
if me and Andre say a different a different player, then Davis, you should do it. Like if we say if he says Dele Alli, I say Odegaard, then you choose.
Okay. All right. So you're going Tierney. Are you going Reguilon?
Sure. And then we'll go Tierney, I'm assuming.
Actually, no. I'll just for the sake of balance, I'll go Reguilon for the sake of balance. I think Tierney's better, but I just think for the sake of balance, to make it a little more fair, I'll just throw Reguilon. But
Okay.
for me,
I'm fine with that.
he's miles better than Reguilon in my opinion.
Okay.
But of course, Andre is saying, "Oh, Davis,
It's fine.
Tierney." But the two midfielders. We'll start with one of them, and of course, we all know, that the duo will be, Winks and Xhaka. I know Cyrus loves Granit Xhaka. He's a very special level of affection for him, and Harry Winks. I think that would be very solid. But you have those two. You have Tenga and Dembele. You have Oliver Skip. You have Pierre-Emile Højbjerg on the Tottenham side of things, and on the Arsenal side of things, you have Albertsemi Lokonga. Yes, you have Granit Xhaka, Thomas Partey, Mohamed El Neni. If Danny Ceballos were still here, it'd definitely be Danny Ceballos. Because
Wait, so are we doing three players in the midfield?
We're doing a double pivot.
Okay, so two and then a cam.
If we do double pivot, then I just say we go Højbjerg and Partey.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay, great. Højbjerg and Partey it is. And on the left-hand side, I'll start with the left-hand side. I'm pretty sure.
I think we know who's on the left.
I'll just say it right away. Heung-min Son on the left.
Martinelli. Oh yeah. Son.
Heung-min Son on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, I think we all know who's going on the right-hand side. Bukayo Saka. I think that's. I mean, you have Bergwijn and you do have Brian Hill.
Bergwijn's injured for the game, so it's fine.
I mean, you have Nicolas Pepe, and I mean, if Willian were still your, Sagai's other favorite player, I think Willian would just be in the team right away. But yeah, Bukayo Saka on the right hand side, and in the number 10 slot, you have a variety here. For Arsenal, you have Martin Odegaard, you have Emile Smith-Rowe. For Tottenham, you could put Tenga and Dembele there. I remember Jose Mourinho putting him a lot at the number 10 slot. When you had that very good run of form, yeah, Dele Alli.
I think if we were going the 4-3-3 with one with one holding midfielder, then I think no, we're not. So I think because I think for me we got to put Smith Rowe in, but I think had we gone the holding, then it would have been a debate between Odegaard and Ndombele. But considering we just went the double pivot, then I think it's got to be Smith Rowe.
Yeah,
just because his appearance.
Definitely, 100%. Yeah, Emile Smith Rowe. At the number 10 and up front, Harry Kane, no discussions needed. I mean, despite Harry Kane's, severe lack of motivation in every way, shape or form, just not being good enough at all, Harry Kane will go up front.
Okay.
I love to trigger Andre. Anyways, wrapping up, combined 11 in goal, Hugo Lloris. Right back, we have Tomiyasu. Center back, we have Ben White and Gabriel. At left back, we have Reguilon, just for the sake of balance, but Tierney is definitely better. In the double pivot, we have Thomas Partey and Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. On the right-hand side, Bukayo Saka. On the left-hand side, Heung-min Son. Through the middle, Emile Smith-Rowe, and up front, Harry Kane. And lastly, before we wrap up the show, score predictions. Cyrus, what is your score prediction for this game?
I'm going to have to go with a 2-1, Aubameyang, Lacazette, and then I think Kane is going to score because he always fucking scores against us.
The real question is, for Harry Kane, will it be from the spot?
Oh, yeah. It always is. I remember that one penalty, which was really deservedly when Holding tackled Son, and Son decided to go for a little cheeky dive. That was my favorite.
Wait, was that the same game where Holding just almost football tackled, American football tackled Son, hurting his little Korean legs.
And
No,
then
that was the same game where we won 5-3.
no, it's 4-2. It was 4-2.
4-2.
Yeah, 4-2.
Uh,
that was a good game. That was a good game. That was like the
Yeah.
only good.
Torreira used to be a beast.
That was
Yeah.
where, and they played. I remember they played Manchester United the next game, and of course we were at our worst under Mourinho, and I was actually shitting myself looking at that game ahead. I was petrified. I thought Arsenal were going to come and like annihilate us at that point.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of Man U, Man U haven't beaten us in a while.
Yeah, I know. Shit. As of then, I mean, we did beat West Ham at the weekend, but yeah, the Carabao Cup, yeah.
And then you lost.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we fucking lost. And Lindelof, I know it's not a Man United preview, but I swear to God, if I ever see fucking Victor Lindelof in that team, I swear on my life, since Varane's come in and he's been playing, Lindelof's playing starting 2 games. A crucial game against Young Boys. I know that sounds terribly wrong, just in the context. And West Ham. We've lost both games, and he's played shit. I don't ever want to see this guy in the starting 11 unless it's against a freaking non-league side. Ever. I don't ever want to see this guy.
Oh yeah, you
League side.
guys lost. You lost against Young Boys too. I mean, I bet if you played Sigurdsson, he would have loved Young Boys.
No comment. No comment on that. But going back to the Arsenal thing, I remember someone for a cheeky dive, but then the next North London derby at the Emirates, I remember Granit Xhaka, making just an absolutely superb tackle that definitely didn't just go straight through Youngman Son at all and just got all the ball.
Well, he won't be playing tomorrow. And if he does, I'm not watching.
But what if Xhaka plays tomorrow and he just pulls a Switzerland versus France performance out of the bag?
No, he won't. So I'd rather play Xhaka's brother.
Saka?
Well, and Andre, lastly over to you. Score predictions and who will score?
This one's tough. I think Arsenal have a momentum, so I think though they had a poor start to the season, they are winless. Undefeated since that they have all wins is what I meant. And we have been the complete opposite. We've only got a win in the Carabao Cup, and it was in penalties. Since they're home, I'll go a draw. I guess I'll go 1-1.
Okay.
Scores.
Not paying because he has no motivation at the moment. So cross him.
Okay, buddy. Arsenal are tough because it probably won't be their attackers. You know what? I'll go a cheeky Kieran Tierney banger from outside the box.
I'm sure Sagai would. I don't know if Sagai's pants would stay dry if he saw that.
Honestly, because we missed out on Tomiyasu, maybe he'll score like a 90th minute equalizer just because we missed out on him. That's how
Yeah, I mean, I'd take Emerson Royale. He was a good signing for you guys.
Yeah, I think it was just like it only went that way because we had a defensive right back. You guys already had your offensive right back. You guys needed a defensive one. We needed a defensive one. So it's just how it worked out.
I was seeing those reports like before they got Tomiyasu, or I think it may have been either right before or right after they got Tomiyasu, that Arsenal, or that apparently Arsenal were interested in signing Serge Aurier.
Yeah.
Wow, I would have died if
he could have been like assistant captain to Aubameyang, and they could have danced together in the locker room to cheer everybody up when they lose.
But you got to, if you're bringing in Aurier for the dance moves, you got to bring in Sissoko and then bring in Mele. You got to have that trio back together again. But anyways, that concludes our show. If you liked what you've seen, and it's just lovely to see a cheeky bit of Saigai and Guandwei back again. Please subscribe and comment. What are your thoughts? And wherever you're watching this in the world, have a great day or evening.